essentially or initially, the idea behind the feminism fight was for women to be appreciated, was for women to be recognized, to have qualities, was for women to be given value in society. Women didn't want to just be at home doing nothing, or taking care of the kids. So they were fighting against that sort of rule to say, as a woman, you must be at home only. That was the initial fight. The initial fight wasn't men, it's 50-50, or I don't need a man, or this world can be at work, for example. I always stress this, dress code. Mm-hmm. Dress code applies for both men and women. But in most cases, you will find a man is well-dressed at work as opposed to a woman being well-dressed at work. But if the woman is approached about her dress code at work, I'm a victim. Are you? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get you.
Are you? Why would...
I'm a feminist also. Because a feminist who's every person who believes the equality between a man and a woman. And I believe that in a professional way.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
I do believe that we can be equal.
Yeah.
And then I don't fight.
Professionally, yeah.
But their stuff is... One day I said that men are radical and women are emotional. It's become a fight.
No, it's the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth. But people don't want to get the truth the way it is.
It's because of that victimhood.
Salut tout le monde, j'espère que vous allez bien. C'est quand même Momando Monéimi et un très bon retour sur Salt.podcast. Aujourd'hui, c'est la première fois d'ailleurs, qu'on va vous présenter une femme. On va vous présenter une femme sur notre podcast. Je sais que vous avez été très nombreux à dire que non, voilà, ces podcasts, c'est comme si c'est seulement un podcast pour hommes. Mais aujourd'hui, nous avons une femme avec nous. Et c'est une personne très différente autant que l'autre. Comme on dit toujours que nous ne sommes pas fans de la redondance. La personne que nous avons aujourd'hui, elle est écrivaine aussi. C'est bizarre que tout le monde que je prends est écrivain. Elle est écrivaine aussi, elle est poète, elle est créateur de contenu, j'ai vu quelque part. Elle est créateur de contenu. C'est la personne qui le nomme Bénédicte Tshisuaka. How are you doing, my sister?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you so much. How are you feeling?
I feel good.
Really? Because I can look through your eyes, you are a bit anxious.
No, anxious, no. Nah, I'm fine.
Okay, so that's very good if you're fine.
Yeah.
Because I want you to be as comfortable as you can be.
Yes, I am.
Okay, alors, so I'm going to French. So most of my question going to be in French, but I know that your English is good, so let's not be there.
Okay.
Alors, la coutume chez Salt Podcast veut que tu te présentes pour celles qui ne te connaissent pas.
Okay, so my name is Bénédicte Tshisuaka. Mm-hmm. I'm a poet, I'm a writer, published article author, and I'm currently working in HR, and I think that's all there is to say, honestly.
Okay, if you think that's
I think that's enough. What's most important is my name and my surname, Bénédicte Tshisuaka.
Yeah, so you said that you are a poet.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
You are a writer.
Yes, I am.
Magazine writer that you write.
Yes, articles.
Okay, so that's nice. So how did you started your journey as a poet?
Sure, that's a funny one. That's a funny one because I'm actually thinking back to the first poem I wrote, and I think the poem was entitled Love. Et j'étais en 6e primaire. And
that was too young, man.
I know.
Wow.
That's why I said it's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just felt like I was a bit shy, so I think I had feelings for a guy at school.
Wow.
And I was too shy to approach the person to tell him about it. So I decided...
That was like grade 6.
Yes, grade 6.
And you got feeling for a guy already.
I know.
Wow, weird.
Some start early.
I don't graduate, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so I think that's how it started. I was not able to express myself, verbally. So I felt more comfortable with a pen and paper. And I started writing.
Okay.
It was horrible.
So can we know how was that first
It
thing
was
that you wrote?
horrible.
How horrible was it?
Just imagine a person in grade 6 trying to express their feelings.
Something like 12.
Yeah, around there, trying to express their feelings. It's not really eloquent, you know. And also having been in South Africa, newly arrived in grade 6, so I barely really spoke English well. And I tried to mix English and French here and there. I was not able to express myself.
I get you.
Yeah, but it just, what it did to me was it helped me, you know, take out whatever feelings I had inside and just put it on paper. It almost felt like I actually told somebody about it. I couldn't say it with my words, but at least I wrote it down. And that's when I developed that passion, and I thought, okay, maybe there are some thoughts that I just can't speak out, but I can.
And then after that, how did you get along, like after your first one? So how did you really discover that you can be able to start to write like poetry and stuff like that?
Okay, so after that one, the next poem I wrote was Anger.
Anger.
Yeah. There was a friend of mine I was angry at.
Like Angry Bird.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I was very mad at her, and I couldn't approach her to speak to her. I wasn't shy to approach her, but I was scared she was not going to listen to me. So I thought, let me write it down. Let me express my feelings the best way I know how. So I wrote about how angry I was that she betrayed me, and she probably even didn't, but I was just being a kid. So yeah. And how did I discover that I could continue with it? Every poem I wrote, when reading it, to me, it felt like there's room for improvement. There's always that thing for me. Everything I write, article, poem, or short story, anything at all, I always read and I'm thinking, there's room for improvement. My next one needs to be better. And I sort of just know what's missing when I've written it. I don't want to change that because it's a journey. You know, we start somewhere. There's proof that I didn't know how to speak first, and then I learned mama, papa, and then, you know. So I have it like a journey type of keeping record of how I started. But noting in my mind that the next time I write, maybe spell better, or maybe rhyme better, or whatever it is that I felt was missing. And yeah.
And then what is the name of the first professional poetry that you have written?
Professional poetry, I wouldn't call it a professional poem, but I would call one that I had performed on a stage. So there was a short film that I had acted in. It's called Watumwa. Yeah, in Swahili, meaning bondage. Yeah, so I was tasked to write a poem about bondage, basically. And that's the first, I would say, professional poem. For lack of a better term, to say that I wrote. And I was talking about how the movie was talking about being bound, physically bound, like enslaved or anything of the sort. But for me, I was talking about bondage in your mind, you know, being bound by your ideas of impossibilities and your insecurities and all of that type of stuff. So yeah, I wrote that poem, collaborated with my sister and my brother because they also write.
So like a whole family just write.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's a gift.
Yeah, so that was the first thing that I performed that I would call professional, and wrote and performed. Yeah.
So, and how did you feel after writing and performing it, you know, like in front of a public of people that was there and looking at you? How did you feel?
Funny thing is, when it comes to performing in front of people, I've always loved it. I've always loved it, and it's something that I started depuis en maternelle. Back in DRC, before coming here, there was these short, like en maternelle, there were these...
récitations.
Yes, il y avait des récitations. Il y avait aussi the plays, you know, they make plays according to the Bible. I remember the one that I performed in was the story of the two women who were fighting for a child. Well, they both gave birth. One child died, and then the king decided, no, you guys share this baby.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I do remember that. Wow, that was long ago.
I know.
Wow.
But it's always been something that I enjoyed, seeing the camera, the lights, you know.
And now you are not seeing me because there's people there. Yeah, so that's it. And then, how was the first time when you came into this country? How did you feel about this country? I know that you were really young. So, but how was that switch, that living from a country where people speak French and come to a country where people speak English? How was that switch for you as a young person?
To be honest, I never liked French. Ever.
Really?
Ever.
Why?
I didn't know. Maybe God was telling me that I don't belong in French-speaking countries.
Okay.
But I never liked French mainly because it has so many rules. Le, la, un, in.
But in English, it's also the same in, on, et.
No. In English, I can say a boy, a girl. But in French, c'est une fille, un garçon. C'est un pays. You know, there's a lot of rules.
Yeah, but me, I like it, like, honestly. You know, I like French, and I feel like French is more friendly, you know.
Yes, I get
decent sometimes.
It is a good language, but I just never liked it. I think the rules were too many for me. So the switch from being in DRC to here sort of felt comfortable for me because it's like, I've always liked English. I never knew how to speak English back in DRC, but it's just a language that I've always been attracted to. I would listen to Beyonce's songs. I don't know what she's singing, but I like what she's saying. So when I got here and I found an opportunity to learn this language that I've been wanting to learn, and I was excited about it. So
I get you.
Yeah.
So before we get into our main subject, I would like to know your school journey. How did you start it, and how did it go? Like, what was the end of it, and what did you do at school?
Okay, so how it started, obviously primary, then high school.
Yeah, if you can just make like a summary of it, a quick one.
Yeah, primary, high school, and then I went to varsity college. I did journalism. Okay. Basically media studies, but majored in journalism. And after that, I think that's essentially that's where it ended when it comes to tertiary educations for now. But in the long run, I'm looking to, go back into the...
Okay.
Yes. You never stop learning.
I know.
You never stop learning.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm looking to go back. But for now, the studying journey ended at journalism.
So like you did journalism at school, but now you are a human resources. So you are into recruitment.
Yes, I am.
That's what you do right now.
Yes, I do.
From journalism to
recruitment.
Really, like, honestly, that is blow-minded. So can you explain that further?
Okay. The two are not linked in any way.
Because that's even what I'm thinking. I'm like, it's not linked somehow.
Yeah.
But you just jump from here to here. So, and then how did it work out for you?
So I've been graced with, working well with people. So whatever job it is that I do. While I was doing journalism at school, I was also always into marketing. Like I was doing piece jobs, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, working in marketing and sales. So doing that on the side. And then during school, I got an internship for journalism. While doing that, there was a person that I was working with that I guess loved my work ethics. And when he moved from there, he was a business development manager. So he was basically bringing business to the company, but also it was like contracting for that company and other companies. And it so happened that it was also contracting for the human resources company. And then when he was contracting there, they told him that they needed a recruiter. And then he's like, I know somebody, but she doesn't have experience. And then he referred me. And then when he told me about it, I'm like, human resources, I don't know anything about that, So then I went for an interview. And I really was completely lost in that interview, to be honest, because I didn't know what I was doing.
So how did you get the job if you were lost from the interview already?
They made me perform a poem.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Recruiting to a poem.
I don't know. To this day, I ask myself how that happened. They made me perform a poem.
Okay.
Literally. I got there. You know that whole tell me about yourself in an interview. And I told them about myself. And every time I tell people about myself, I always mention that I'm a poet. So some people are interested, some aren't. So they seem to be interested. There were two ladies interviewing me. And they said, oh, do you have a poem on you right now? I said, yeah, I always have my poems on my phone. It's like, okay. Can you perform for us your latest poem? I'm like, right now? They're like, yes, right now. I'm like, okay, I haven't memorized it because I recently wrote it. So is it fine if I read? No problem, take your time. I'm like, okay. So I performed.
And how was it?
Performing was easy because that's something I do. But putting in my mind that I'm performing and this is a job interview. It was a bit tricky. Kind
of weird.
Yeah, it was like, okay, I'm interviewing for this, but I'm doing this as a performance. How are the two linked? So I think I later asked my boss why she gave me a chance, and she says how I speak. And recruitment is about speaking. You need to be able to speak to people. And if you're able to perform in front of an audience, then you know how to speak. If you're able to draw people's attention while you're speaking, then you know how to speak. So then you know the job. The little details I would learn along the way. Okay. So that's how I got the job.
Wow. That's really, really, really awesome. Yeah. But at the same time, I have a very interesting question that I was looking for a woman to ask, because I want a woman perspective of view, like point of view about that. There's a lot of women in this country complain like not having a job. And then if we can see most foreigners into this country, specifically women, they're into nail tech and salon and complain about not getting
better opportunities.
So as a recruit person, what can you say about that?
Okay. There are many categories of people. Women, let me speak about women. Many categories of women in South Africa who find themselves in the African dilemma, which is there's no money for university. And because there's no money for university, you get to do whatever little job that you come across. Okay. And that's how you end up, sort of tracing your life moving forward. And then there's the category that has a passion for being a nail tech or working at a salon, and that's just what they want to do. There's a category of people who want to own their own business and they don't want to work for other people, And then there's also a category of people who understand that they don't have money. The parents cannot fund their education for the time being, but they decide, let's do something for now to raise funds and then go to varsity to then study whatever vision you have. But along the way, they get lost. They get comfortable in the money they're making as a nail tech, for example. I mean, that's something that will get you money. That's a skill that will get you money anywhere you go. Even if you don't work at a salon, if you know how to do nails and you know people who know people, they're going to refer and you do it well, you're going to get money. So a lot of people tend to be comfortable in that position, and it's that comfortability that sort of now brings these excuses. No, there are no better opportunities. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. Now we become victims in our minds to say, no, my parents didn't send me to school, so I can't study. My parents didn't send me to school, so I can't get a better job. But then the plan was for you to work this for maybe 2 years, get money, and then go to school. What happened to that plan? Why have you become comfortable in getting 2.5 every day when you could have gotten way more than that, when you can still be able to get way more than that, you see? So I think the issue is the mindset. Okay. Our mindset as Congolese women, let me say, limiting us to the very tiny opportunities that present themselves before us, to say these are little opportunities. We see them like this great time to make money. This is wow, I'm going to make 6,000 rands per week. That's a lot of money when you could be making more. Okay. So we are very complacent. We get so comfortable with the little that's presented before us, with that idea that there are no jobs in South Africa. And so that's how we get stuck.
It's only an idea that we have that there's no job while there is job.
I think to some extent it is an idea. Why I say that is there are jobs.
Okay.
There are jobs.
Exposed to everyone or to a specific gender of people?
So the issue with the jobs that are currently there, I think the jobs are open to everybody.
Okay.
But as the youth, we are more prone to running to things that are common, popular jobs. Every youth wants to be an engineer. Every youth wants to be a lawyer. Every youth wants to be a teacher. Every youth, these popular jobs, popular careers, but not knowing that you can study law and not end up being a lawyer.
A lawyer, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So in that field of law, how many youth are pursuing other branches instead of just becoming a lawyer? So if all of us want to become lawyers, what about
those other stuff?
Those other branches? Who's going to tackle? So the jobs are presented not because there's so many lawyers. Example, je vais te donner business administration or business management.
That's what I did.
Nous sommes tous là. Nous sommes tous là. So when it comes to hiring, there's so many people. There's a lot of fish in the sea, that, like they say. So it becomes difficult for you to get a job because it's that common. Everyone is running to the easy stuff. Everyone is running to the common stuff. So then we get to find ourselves in a position where on se dit que no, there's no opportunities for foreigners. South Africans are crying the same cry.
Okay.
They're crying the same cry.
Know that.
They are crying the same cry because like us, they're running to the easy stuff. They're doing business management, but expecting to get a job that will give them maybe 500,000 rands per annum.
Okay.
You see? So that's the issue. What are we doing? What are we running? What field are we running to? What are
That's the question that I'm asking you back.
Are you asking me what we're doing?
Yeah. Like now, for us to be able to look for the way forward, we know that, okay, we can't all be stuck in this area of complaining about not having a job while opportunities can also be open to another industry or in another space. So like, what can be your best advice? Like right now for those youngest who are still trying to get into varsity, what can be your best advice? Like, because I just want your point of view as someone who recruits people. What can be your really advice that can help them to channel their career in the next 5 years?
Okay. I would say that the best way for you to choose a career is to research.
Okay.
Most of the times we decide to become a doctor parce que mon papa disait qu'il cherchait que son fils puisse être docteur or que sa fille puisse être docteur or whatever the case is, So let's run away from becoming a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer just because papa a dit, maman a dit, ou bien ma tante avait dit, or whatever reason, ou bien ma cousine is a doctor and she has a lot of money, so I want to become a doctor as well. You see, so let's go back into ourselves and ask ourselves, why are we choosing this particular career? Je vais devenir docteur, why? What's the reason for that?
So do you think we also need to look at the market and see what is really in demand?
Yes,
and try
definitely.
to work accordingly?
Definitely. That's where the research comes in because the world as we know it is changing. 10 years ago, being a social media manager was
weird.
Irrelevant. How many people are making money now? Being a social media manager, just a manager. Being a content creator, how many people are making a living out of that? You see, but 10 years ago, it wasn't. So we need to stay updated with the trends, stay updated with the market, research. There's on Google, you don't even have to go far. Just research relevant careers in the job presently on Google and it will come up with whatever. If you want your career to be based here in South Africa, it will come up with certain jobs in South Africa. It will come up with certain jobs in the US, wherever it is that you want to be based. You research around that and you decide then from there to choose your career.
But I'm also trying to make another point. Like let's say in Congo, okay? Because when I was in Congo, I studied in Congo. I just did my university somewhere around the world. That's I don't want to say.
Around the world, okay.
So the stuff was, even when I finished like back home with some of my friends, They're like, no, we're going to university. I want to be an engineer. I want to be this. I want to do economy. I want to do marketing or anything that was presented. But there was also people who didn't know what they are going to do after the matrix.
I was one of them.
Back home, really?
Yeah.
So how did you feel about that? Like, and how was it for you? Like when you got your matrix, not knowing what I'm going to do after that. So how did you find your way out?
I was completely lost, not because I didn't know what to do, but because I had so many options.
Okay.
So I had my teachers in high school were telling me, no, you can become a geologist because you're good in geography. No, you can become a weather person because you're good in geography. Mm-hmm. No, you can be a writer because you're good in English. You know, I had options. I had so many options. So the many options that presented themselves confused me. Confused me. And I ran into journalism because of my passion for writing.
Okay.
I don't regret it, but I wish I had known better. Because if I had known better, the reality is now, tout le monde est journaliste. If you have a smartphone, you can be a journalist. You don't even need a qualification for that anymore. You see, you just have a smartphone, you're passing by a crime scene, point photo in video, post, you're famous and you're a journalist. You see, but that's something I paid money for. That's something I studied. Why did I study that?
Because you wanted a career in there.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't prospect in the next 10 years. How is this going to look? In the next 10 years, is this going to be relevant? In the next 10 years, will journalism still be as important? The articles that I sent you, some people, there's ChatGPT. I will bust myself off writing that article, but someone will just take a title and put it on ChatGPT and
just give it a good prompt.
That's it.
You give something great.
Probably better than mine.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So then it makes my job pointless.
Not really pointless.
To some extent.
Because there's something that we learned the last time I went to a conference, but that was in Tunisia, like 2021. So, because the conference was in French, and then I think I'm going to say it in French.
Okay.
So, we say, tout le monde peut tout faire actuellement. Même un informaticien, il se trouve indispensable parce qu'il s'est dit que je peux tout faire. Mais à un moment, on n'a plus besoin des généralistes, mais on a besoin des spécialistes dans cette chose-là. Because if we can all do everything, you see, if a IT guy say that I can design a poster, I can do this, I can do this, I can do what an accountant can do, I can do this. Of course, he can do it. But we need that specific hand for him to be
specializes in that only.
Exactly, tu vois. Parce qu'une personne qui est spécialisée dans ça, lorsqu'il y a une urgence, il sait qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire en cas de.
Yeah.
But a person who has like a general knowledge of it just will be stuck.
Yeah.
And then after that, we start looking for someone who can do better.
I get you.
You see, because that was really, really my point. So let's go into your magazine, the magazine that you published. Because I've read some that are really, really good, like really nice story, and I was impressed.
Thank you.
Honestly, because when you sent it to me, I was at church.
Oh,
and then at church, they were playing a movie. Because that was Wednesday. And then it was a movie, but that movie was boring. And then I was like, so when you sent me those link, I just went there. I was really reading. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. How did you get there?
Which one specifically?
Let me check.
Because I sent you quite a few.
The first one that you sent me.
Which one did I send you first?
You can check your phone?
Yeah.
The first one that you sent me. I was, I think this is the first one.
Did you find it?
My phone is running a bit slow.
Okay.
But let me see. The one, I think this one, keeping married Baluma woman.
Oh, Chibao.
Yeah. Oh, Chibao.
Yes, that's the title.
Oh, Chibao. This one.
Yes, Chibao.
Okay, so what do you mean by this? So what is the story?
Well, I'm Muluba, right? And everybody knows Chibao.
Oh,
si tu viens du Congo.
Chibao. Okay.
Sosa Chibao. Si tu viens du Congo, you know Chibao as a Muluba person, you know Chibao. So when I got the internship, so that was when I was interning as a journalist.
Okay.
So when I got the internship, they gave me an assignment to write articles about the African culture.
Okay.
Et je me suis dit, why would I speak about the African culture on a broader perspective when I can start from who I am, you know? So j'ai commencé à poser à mes parents des questions. I started asking about certain cultural questions, you know, to find out is there something specific about our culture that is worth being educated on, you know? So then the Chibao topic came up. I've always heard it. I never understood it myself. I've always heard the story, but I never really understood it. So I thought, let me ask. So I came up with a few questions. J'ai appelé mon papa. I asked him. Il y a ma tante qui est à Cape Town. I also asked her because she's also very traditional with all of these things. I had a few questions for everybody, and I asked different people different questions, and I put their answers together, and I came up with a story explaining basically what Chibao is. It's not a so-so.
Can you just give us a summary of that? Because I would also like to know, because I just know it like Chibao, it's like so-so Chibao. That's all I know about it.
It's not a so-so.
Okay, what is it about?
Okay, Chibao, the word Chibao translates to a fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So Chibao is you can use it in the vocabulary, in the Chiluba vocabulary. Chibao is a fine. It's something that you have to pay when you have done something wrong.
Okay.
You know, that is Chibao. So now in this context, Chibao is a fine, how do I put this?
Funny word.
Chibao is I don't want to say spiritual. Okay. Let me say traditional.
In Lingala, if you want, like if that explanation when we flew, like you can just say it.
No, Lingala is worse. Chibao is a traditional fine that we have to pay. So I'll just give a background story quickly of how Chibao came about. So Kasai Oriental, Kasai Occidental, right? Back in the days. So as we know, women were being married when they were young.
Okay.
You know, mon papa va me vendre to a 40-year-old man et j'ai 14 ans ou j'ai 15 ans.
Wait. Hold on, please. See? So, like, what you're saying is actually not marriage, it's like selling.
It was in a way, because souvent c'était those families qui étaient un peu, they were suffering financièrement, so they were looking for a way out.
Okay.
So les papas va prendre sa fille, il va donner a 40-year-old man and says, give me money, here's my daughter, you can take her as a wife. So it looks like marriage, but in actual reality, c'était une vente.
Okay.
Just covered with the whole marriage title.
Okay.
You know?
Let's keep on the story then.
Yeah, so that's what was happening. And in most cases, Oriental and Occidental, they never got along. So Oriental was doing what they were doing, Occidental was doing what they were doing. Now, in Occidental, they were marrying each other off like that, but the girls were young. And they were too young, they felt they were abused by these men. And so they decided to cheat on their husbands.
Okay.
So they can't cheat on their husbands in the same village because they know each other in the same village. So they decided, let's go to the other side. Oriental cheating with Occidental, Occidental cheating with Oriental.
Okay.
That way they don't know each other. Okay. You know, so that's how they were doing that. And then eventually the men were complaining. So both men from both sides went to their kings and complained that we've noticed this and this and this and this. So the two kings decided the only way for us to resolve this issue is traditionally. So the two kings, ils ont sélectionné 10 hommes from Oriental, 10 hommes from Occidental. And they came by the border. They buried them alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a real story.
Yeah. According to what I was told. They buried them alive. And upon burying them alive, you know, in African culture, we speak. We when we want to perform a ritual, we are speaking. So they spoke. In the speaking, they came up with Chibao being the result of a woman, a Muluba woman cheating on her husband.
Okay.
So in speaking, they didn't really tell me exactly what they said, but in speaking, they basically came up to a conclusion to say that any Muluba woman who cheats on her husband will pay chibao, will pay a fine.
A fine.
Now that fine is not, c'est pas catégorique. We cannot really say that this will happen specifically. Ça dépend. It depends, but they say ça dépend if your husband has a makila makasi. I don't know how that works.
Okay.
I don't know. But some husbands will die. Because I cheat on my husband, he will die.
So that's the fine. So why is the husband going to die for my fine?
That's what I'm saying.
I can die myself.
That's what I'm saying. Mibali misusu bazala makila makasi, mibali misusu bazala makila makasi te. So oza makila makasi te, you die.
So that's becoming scary now.
Yeah, so but it's a reality. So it's basically that's how we came about. The fine is not categoric, like I said.
This tradition is unfair.
Yeah.
You see, as a Christian, if I sin, I will pay the price of my sin myself.
Yes.
Why with tradition, if you sin, someone else need to pay the price?
It's even worse because sometimes even the kids will pay the price. The kids might get sick. Yeah, the kids might get sick. My husband's work will not, go forward anymore. Okay. Maybe he will lose his job, or maybe if he's a businessman, he's not going to get deals. Anything negative, something negative, And the ultimate one of my husband dying is if 𝐒𝐿𝐒, because there are some men who know about it and then they cover their wives. Because I love my wife so much, I cover it. That's where the death comes in. So yeah, basically chibao is a fine. When they did that, it's just to bind Baluba women to their husbands. So if a Muluba woman cheats, whether she's married to a Muluba man or not, if she cheats, there's going to be chibao to pay.
Okay, so let's go back to the mindset. Because you talk about the mindset, woman mindset. So like the woman mindset now is limiting most of women. Like they can't see something else because they are too comfortable with what is offered to them or what they have right now. So going back to the mindset, that mindset, what do you think can be the right mindset?
The right mindset in terms of what exactly?
In terms of, because we were talking about employment. You see, and people being comfortable with the small that is offered to them and getting too comfortable with that situation. Yeah. So what kind of mindset do those women need to have for them to be able not being too comfortable in that situation, but also trying to look for the way forward? Because people know something that this is bad when I know good. I can't, because if I don't know something is better, I can stick into that specific position forever.
You mentioned that in your previous episode. But in French. So I'm like, oh, is he translating?
I didn't even realizing that I was saying that.
Yeah.
So what do you think can be the way forward?
Okay. Honestly speaking, the one mindset I would say we need to kill is thinking that we don't deserve better. You know, the same way you were saying that people only know good when there's bad or bad when there's good. We cannot be comfortable with something without the idea that there is more. Okay. You know, I must have had more for me to know that this is my portion. You see? So the mindset I would urge everybody, all the women, to have is to say, there is so much more out there. Let me give it a try. Okay. Let me put myself out there. Let me work. I'm not just going to limit myself on this. Let me work hard in whatever field I find myself. Let's say you are in media, for example, and there are different things you can be. You can be in media. You can be a radio presenter. You can be a TV presenter. You can be a social media manager. You can be so many things. I cannot decide that it's best for me to be a social media manager if I have not explored the other media channels. Okay. I cannot decide that TV is better if I have not explored radio. Let us explore. Put yourself out there. Work hard. And once you see all the options that have presented themselves, then only you can be able to decide that this is where I belong. You know, you can't say you don't like something when you haven't even tried it. How do you know you don't like it?
Because I think that I don't like it.
Why are you thinking that? Why don't you try it?
That's the mindset.
I think that's the mindset. The comfortability that I'm speaking about is also, comfort zones are a real thing. Nobody wants to work really hard. Nobody wants to work really hard, especially with women. I know a lot of people are going to come for me, but it's the truth. Okay. It's the truth, especially women. We have this girlfriend allowance thing now. It's popular,
Really? I didn't know about that.
Which world do you
What
live
is it about?
Which world do you live in?
My one.
Girlfriend allowance, it's a thing. I'm dating my boyfriend and he needs to give me money every month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
We have a mentality of...
But it's not compulsory though.
Yeah, but it is for the people who believe in it. Because you're my boyfriend, you have to give me an allowance. And so that's the comfortability I'm speaking of, because you have a source of income from somewhere. You want to link yourself to that.
I can agree, like, if I'm your husband, I need to give you allowance, but not if I'm your boyfriend.
But even if you're my husband, you give me that allowance, does that mean I shouldn't work? Let's say we have had the conversation that, okay, tu peux travailler, je vais travailler, but I'll still give you money as your husband. But does that mean I shouldn't go out and work?
I get you.
You see, but there are some women, because mon mari va me donner l'argent, je ne travaille pas.
But because most of men also doesn't want the woman to work.
No, not anymore. Not anymore. That's old.
Yeah, I know.
Very old.
Yeah, but
if you're there, wake up.
Back home.
Okay, maybe
with that mindset.
Yeah. Okay, that's a different situation. But si ton mari has allowed you to work and you decide not to because il te donne l'argent, what does that mean? Why? You could do more.
But just, he doesn't want.
Let's say il accepte que tu travailles. He doesn't have a problem with you working. But because he's your husband, il te donne l'argent every month. But you still don't want to go and work. Mais ton mari a dit you can work. So what then?
Yeah, that is the mindset of that specific person.
You understand what I'm saying?
Go to work, my friend.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That comfortability it's big. Even I think the comfortability goes way back with how we are brought up as girl children.
That's
La façon
really
dont they raise a girl and a boy completely different. They raise a boy to work. They raise a boy, you need to bring solutions. You need to be a thinker. You need to think on your feet. But a girl, it's not like that. So we, especially if you're in a community where, Congolese community, oh my God.
What happened with
Congolese community from the age of 5? Une fille ne rit pas comme ça. Ton mari va penser quoi? Age of 5. Elle ne connaît rien. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's...
You get what I'm saying?
Because in Congo, like, okay, most of our parents, they are still old school. So like when they raise a girl, I'm not talking about now. Don't judge me, please. I'm talking about the old
back
school
in the
one.
days, yeah.
They raise a girl to be a wife. You see? And they raise a man to be a soldier.
But what does a wife mean?
A wife mean like a man gonna come to you, because I'm just not giving really the real definition of that word, but I'm just trying to relate
According to them. Yeah.
To them, a wife is someone who stay home, take care of the kids, take care of the house, and be a good person for his husband. That's the meaning of a wife. That's why you can even see like most of girls like long ago was not even going to school because they were raised to get married, not to make a living. Yeah, you see. But now things are changing.
Yeah.
But also a very good question. I don't know if it's gonna generate other questions. Do you think most of women? Because I asked that question to my friend, but in another manner. Do you think women are suffering of victimization or victimhood?
I watched that episode.
Yeah, but that was for something else.
I'm trying to take that out.
Now I'm going with women. Do you think women suffer of victimization or victimhood?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
I think it's a bit of both, and mainly because of how we were brought up. You see, I want to take this back to the fight that women have been doing globally, the fight for acceptance, the feminism that is now gone wrong. Okay. essentially or initially, the idea behind the feminism fight was for women to be appreciated, was for women to be recognized, to have qualities, was for women to be given value in society. Women didn't want to just be at home doing nothing, or taking care of the kids. So they were fighting against that sort of rule to say, as a woman, you must be at home only. That was the initial fight. The initial fight wasn't men, it's 50-50, or I don't need a man, or this world can be... That was not the fight. I don't know where that came from. I really don't...
It came from the mindset, the revolution.
Yeah, but the initial fight was just for our rights to be appreciated as well. Our rights to be seen, to be taken note of.
Recognized.
Yes. So in that, those women, I would say, that were fighting that fight were suffering from victimhood, right?
No, victimization.
No, victimization, sorry. Yeah, victimization, yes, because there was evidence of physical victimization from a man to a woman, a man constantly telling a woman how she's not worth it and all of that type of stuff. So they were fighting against that to make men understand that we are more than just what you say that we are, However, that was a fight that was fought well. Women got their rights. We have so many public holidays for women globally.
Lots.
Globally.
Wow.
That was a good fight. But now the modern society has twisted the narrative. They have changed it completely. And now it's become victimhood. Now it's because they don't feel fulfilled inside. So let me bring this fight on the outside. Because I think this man is not respecting me, let me put it out. But why? Have you thought about why you think this man is not respecting you? At work, for example, I always stress this, dress code. Dress code applies for both men and women. But in most cases, you will find a man is well-dressed at work as opposed to a woman being well-dressed at work. But if the woman is approached about her dress code at work, I'm a victim. Are you? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get you.
Are you? Why would you find yourself? I mean, there's professional attires. To avoid being approached like that, why don't you just dress formally, dress professionally? You're at work. Whatever else, do it when you're not at work, so that man, you don't give that man the space to come at you the way that you don't want to become after. So it comes back to now how you view yourself.
Okay.
Because we women are very emotional beings. Almost everything that we do is linked to our emotions.
I'm not the one saying.
No, it's the woman
truth.
saying. No, it's the truth.
I'm not saying.
And whichever woman will be watching this knows. Almost everything we do is based on our emotions.
The last time I was treated as a feminist, or because I'm a feminist also. Because a feminist who's every person who believes the equality between a man and a woman. And I believe that in a professional way. Yeah. You see, I do believe that we can be equal. Yeah. And then I don't fight.
Professionally,
But there's stuff there was one day I said that men are radical and women are emotional. It's become a fight.
No, it's the truth.
Yeah, it's the truth. But people don't want to get the truth the way it is.
It's because of that victimhood. It's because in my mind, I haven't settled with a certain idea. So anyone who comes with that at me feels like it's an attack.
Okay, mindset. So what do we need to change that mindset?
That's a fight that we will probably lose.
Okay, so that fight is amount women or men also need to get involved?
I think some men need to get involved.
I think you're gonna kill us. Man.
I think men who think they are able to take the task need to get involved, because women they listen, right? They are creatures that are drawn by what they hear. So if I have a man in my life, be it my father, be it my brother, be it my husband, or whoever you might be, a man in my life who is speaking things that are opposing my own thoughts about myself, do you really think that I'm going to lose that fight?
No.
I will not. But if I have a man constantly bringing me down, maybe you don't know that you're bringing me down. Something like, for example, with my colleague at work yesterday. I said it as a joke, but now I'm thinking about like, okay, it can, Anyways, so
But
he was...
Also, the stuff is because people don't speak. They prefer to think instead of speaking. Because if you think... Because I always have this fight with some people that I won't mention here. When I say I'm responsible of what I say,
not what
I might be accountable of what you think.
Yeah.
You see, I really take full responsibility of what I say. If I say this mic is beautiful, I'm really responsible. But if you think that it's ugly, that's your thoughts.
It's on you.
And then I'm not responsible of what you're thinking of this mic.
But that's a bit tricky though.
Okay.
That's a bit tricky, especially if you're trying to align that to how you speak to women. Because if they call it ambiguity, what is ambiguity in French?
Ambiguity.
Yes. Oh, so close.
Really.
Yeah, they call it ambiguity. So if you speak to me in such a way that you eliminate ambiguity, tu me donnes pas l'espace to misunderstand what you're saying.
Okay.
You see.
So I need to clear up my
yes.
or my word.
If you're being ambiguous, there's a possibility that je ne vais pas te comprendre, and then that's when the fight comes in now. Oh, so you mean I'm not smart? That's actually the example I wanted to give you.
Yeah.
Yesterday at work, my colleague was moving the TV, so they were moving it to another meeting room. So it's a guy. He's moving the TV, and I'm like, and I can see he's struggling. I'm like, do you need help? He says, no, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. And then 2 minutes after I ask, a man stands up and goes, help him. I'm like, oh, so you're only taking that guy's help because it's a guy. Automatically, why did you refuse for me to help you?
Maybe
Qu'est-ce
because
que les garçons avaient fait?
You are a woman, you are not strong enough.
You understand what I'm saying. Why? Et qu'est-ce que les garçons avaient fait? He was just holding the TV. Am I not strong to hold? It was on the stand. He's holding this side, l'autre touche de l'autre côté, et on part ensemble. Can't I do that?
You can, but
why didn't you let me do that?
I don't know.
You understand what I'm saying?
Your colleague, I don't know.
You understand, but you can apply that example in many different aspects of life. That ambiguity. I can't help you because what? I'm not strong enough. If you're carrying heavy things and c'est évident that it's heavy and I can't carry heavy things, ça se comprend. But holding the TV stand,
I can also help you out.
Faire ça.
Oh, il a juste voulu être galant.
Non, quel galant. Quel galant.
Il s'est dit non, voilà, c'est une femme. Elle peut juste rester.
Toucher comme ça, literally. Just holding like this.
It can be fair, man.
I texted him. I said, oh, because I'm a woman, so you think I can't do all of this. He's like, no, it's not what I meant. I'm so sorry. Don't bring the drama. I'm so sorry.
Okay. So I have a written question for you also, because now I'm just bringing this one for all my guesses. And then I have questions written down that I need to ask.
Okay.
So the question was, first of all, because we have 8 minutes left.
Okay.
How do you work as a recruiter? How do you work?
How do I work?
Yeah. What is the challenge that you're facing in that specific position, and knowing that you are a woman? Because explain us first the role of, like, what do you really do? Because I also have a further question, because are you also the one that give people contract? You see, so we want, first of all, to know what is your work about.
Okay.
Then I will ask my next question.
Okay. So I'm not the one who gives people contracts. So how it works, I work for an agency that works in collaboration with other companies. For example, there's Hisense, who needs a software developer, for example. Okay. And we are in collaboration with Hisense. And because Hisense does not have the time to focus and now start looking for people by themselves to shortlist and interview them, they come to us. They have a job specification and they present it to us. They say, no, we need this. We need a person who has this type of certificate. We need a person who has studied this, has this amount of experience, all of that, specifications that speak to the job. Okay. And then after that, now my responsibility would be to go in the market, LinkedIn, anyway. But mostly there's this place called executive placements. It's like Peanut. So with the specifications that I got from the client, I find like keywords add them on executive placements or LinkedIn. Whoever's CV has those keywords on them pops up. I look at it, compare in terms of years of experience, qualifications, depending on how fussy the client is. If Hisense wants a person who has a degree, I must provide a person who has a degree. But some other companies are open to whether or not you have a degree, you see. So yeah, I do that. I get the person, I interview them telephonically first to see if they're on the market, if they're interested in that type of role. If they are, they send their CV. So we usually convert their CV, and then I have a second interview. That's like a physical or a Zoom interview where I get to see the person that I'm speaking with. And if I'm confident with the questions and that they've given to the answers they've given to my questions, then they shortlisted on my side, and then I send them through to Hisense, and then now Hisense does the rest. Okay.
Because most people think that in your role, what you do, you are the one that cut people off.
To some extent, I think I do.
Really?
Yes, because remember, I will find 500 CVs that are speaking about software development, but there's only one role. Hisense only wants one person. In 500, I have to break it down to 10.
So like you say,
10,
fico.
literally, but not like that. Yeah, so that's what I do. So I sort of cut people off depending on la présentation de ton CV. What have you written on your CV? What are you saying about what you do? Are you descriptive enough? Quand je te parle au téléphone, are you responding? Because I need someone who speaks properly, because when you're going to get interviewed, you will be speaking to the interviewer, because at the end of the day, nous disons to our clients, which is Hisense, that our candidates, they are a part of our network. On leur dit pas que we are going to look for these people. We have them in our system.
You are going to treat them as part of your work.
Yes, it's like it's like a network. It's like your LinkedIn connections. They are my connections. And sometimes it happens that I just connect to random people just to keep them in my on my corner, so that if that role comes up, I know that I have 5 developers, I know that I have 7 architects, all of that. And then I send them through. So they sort of also represent us. So I
think after this interview, there will be people looking for you on LinkedIn and send CVs out. Yeah, she's here.
Just send make sure it's a good CV. That's all I'm saying.
They will. Because I just assume that in a Congolese community, we really need people like you. When I'm saying like you is like you really describe your position, like you would describe it, and then you also give us some tip. Like what do we need to do? Why I'm not thinking, because I noticed that you don't have Instagram. Why can't you just open an Instagram and start explaining to us what do we need for our CVs to be relevant or to be more exposed in the market? Which area do we need to focus on? Or be like a consultant?
Ooh, that's a lot of work.
It's not, actually. Because that's what we are doing here.
Yeah.
So you're just giving some tip. You can just take your phone, like just a 30-minute video out on social media, and you're becoming also famous.
I will think about it.
Take your time. But really, like honestly, in a Congolese community, we need that. Yeah. People doesn't really know what is going on because those stuff are not presented to them. Some people are presented to be like security or guard or stuff, because those stuff are presented to them. Yeah. That's why they are going for it. Yeah. But if you can also present to us those good opportunities, we might get it. Because we are not suffering of victimhood, but also it's a victimization from you guys. Because that's what happened. Because if you see someone working hard outside there, you might say, but there's good opportunities here. Why is this person working here? Because this person doesn't know that there's good opportunities out there.
But why doesn't that person know that there are good opportunities? When there's something called the internet that everybody has access to. Why doesn't that person use the internet instead of spending time on TikTok, scrolling, laughing, making jokes? Why don't you research relevant topics?
But that now depends on the dopamine.
That's another topic on its own.
Yeah, and then I don't want to
That's
talk about
another topic on its
I
own.
talked about it already. Now, I don't want to feel like I'm just saying the same thing. But thank you so much for being there. Our time's up. That was my first time doing a podcast in English. That was awkward. Don't judge my English accent. I'm just trying.
Bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, but I've been speaking English like for 1 year now.
Oh, wow. That's good, actually. For 1 year.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mostly.
That's good.
But thank you so much for being here. And then I really appreciate. I hope it's not the last time that we are having you here.
I hope so.
Because there's
too.
more to come. Like there's really, really more. Because I didn't have a lot of question or relevant question, but there's people that have relevant question and we need relevant answer from a specific person.
Yeah.
From a relevant person.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going with the same tautology. You see, but really thank you so much for showing up and thank you for your time. And then for the same occasion, I will take time to thank all our partner that we're working with. And there's 𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐿 Microfinance Bank, which is a Congolese bank. It's for a guy called Glody Kambembo. He's working in Tunisia. So he's really helping students that I have to say it in French because most of his audience is French. So actuellement, il a des prêts comme le prêt étudiant et il a des prêts personnels que chaque étudiant, peut-être, tu vois, en Tunisie, nous sommes tous étudiants. On fait face à des situations et tout. Mais lui, il donne des prêts avec un retour flexible, durée flexible, than someone who is taking a normal loan that you really just need to pay it back at that specific time. But he's a bit decent with student because he
understands.
He was also one of them. So your last word, because the time's up.
My last word. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, your last word.
My last word mostly to women because apparently I'm the first lady on this podcast. So first lady. I think that's next time I come back, refer to me as first lady.
Yeah, first lady, first lady.
I would tell the women out there to not limit themselves. Don't limit yourself to the situations that you find yourself in life. You know, it happens, honestly speaking. Unfortunately, we didn't have much time for me to dive deeply into my story as well, regarding to the struggles that I've had to face and the many times that I've thought of giving up, but I didn't. You know, and that's only because of my mindset. And a mindset is something that you feed yourself. A mindset is something that you're constantly trying to build within yourself. So I would urge every woman to just not give up. Keep working. Don't limit yourself to something just because it seems like gold. It's not the only thing that's out there. There is so much more. Yes, there are no opportunities for foreigners in South Africa, but there are opportunities for foreigners in South Africa. So go out there, look for it. If it doesn't work out, at least you tried. Yeah. You know, let's not listen to each other and create this community where, South Africa is hard. Oh my God, South African citizens only. That doesn't bring us anywhere. You know, that doesn't give us anything. But if we are in an environment where we encourage each other, we say, you know what, it is hard. I tried maybe this bank, it didn't work. Go to that bank. Go to that other company. Go there, you know, do that. Trying to motivate each other to keep pushing and keep pushing. The story will change.
Thank you so much for that. We take it as an anecdote. So that's even gonna be that's part that we go out. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. But next time we're gonna speak about you. Dive into you.
There's a lot.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot to say. A lot. But today was just a discovery. Will
you give me 2 hours because I need 2 hours when you talk about me?
You will have it. Definitely, 100%. You're going to have 2 hours, but we're going to make it. Thank you so much.